Hello ladies and gentlemen, I am the Grand Cat and today we're going to be doing the predictions video for Crown Jewel. But first, there is a free gift on the WWE Supercard website. There it is, you can see it. This is the Crown Jewel special, which gives you the American Nightmare Cody Rhodes, Seth Rollins, John Cena, AJ Styles, Rhea Ripley, Asuka, Kairi Sane, Tiffany Stratton, Stephanie McMahon and Io Sky. So this gives you everyone that's participating in Crown Jewel with the exception of Roman Reigns and Bronson Reed. So let's go ahead and claim that. You just click on it and there we go. It's successfully been redeemed. And then we're going to go back into the game and we're going to go and collect that reward. And now that we've claimed our reward, if you just go into your little mail here and you click on rewards, there you'll see there is the pack. It's going to give you the AJ Styles, Stephanie McMahon, Kairi Sane, Rhea Ripley, Asuka, Io Sky, Tiffany Stratton, the American Nightmare Cody Rhodes, John Cena, and Seth freaking Rollins. With that now out of the way, let's go ahead and take a look at the Crown Jewel being held in Perth. So we have 5 matches on the card, and we are going to go from the bottom to the top as listed on Wikipedia. So we have Roman Reigns versus Bronson Reed in an Australian street fight. We then have Rhea Ripley, who has teamed with Io Sky, who is currently feuding with Asuka and Kairi Sane of the Kabuki Warriors. Kairi, as Asuka would say. Then we have John Cena nearing the end of his retirement farewell tour against the phenomenal AJ Styles, who on the Crown Jewel pre-show, he announced that he will be retiring in 2026. Now, we also heard some reports a few months ago that there was a couple of people that wanted to retire this year, and WWE told them, no, you're not retiring on the year that John Cena is doing his retirement tour. So people suspect that AJ Styles might have been one of them, and another name that has came up for contention for retirement is Randy Orton. So those are some things to look out for. We'll see if those rumours held any truth to them, or if they were just a load of baloney. Next up we have the first of the 2 Crown Jewel Championships. We have the WWE Women's Crown Jewel Championship, which is Stephanie McMahon versus Tiffany Stratton. And then finally, in what will most certainly be the main event for the singles match for the WWE Crown Jewel Championship, is going to be the American Nightmare Cody Rhodes defending his Crown Jewel Championship against Seth freaking Rollins in a match that Seth Rollins has to win, otherwise he will go 0-4 against Cody Rhodes. So let's start off with the bottom of the show, Roman Reigns versus Bronson Reed. Now, Roman Reigns has been quite dominant in defeating Bronson Reed recently, but it always ends with Roman Reigns picking up the pin, and then Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed teaming up together, doing a spear to the Tribal Chief, doing the tsunamis, and putting Roman Reigns out for injury for a little while so that he could go and record the Street Fighter movie, so they could go and be Akuma in that. But now Roman Reigns has came back. He beat the Tribal Chief, or the Tribal Thief, and he threw his shoes into the audience. And now, why is this feud continuing? I'm honestly unsure. I really think that Roman Reigns and Bronson Reed are just kind of, as they say in the business, spinning their wheels. That means that they don't really have any direction to go in at the moment, or they are waiting for a space to open up higher in the card to put these players in. So who do I think is winning out of Roman Reigns and Bronson Reed? I really think it could go either way, but I think it makes more sense for Roman Reigns to win. I think it would be strange if Bronson Reed were to somehow pick up the victory, but because it's an Australian street fight, makes me think there's going to be interference from Braun Breaker. There's maybe going to be interference from Jimmy, possibly Jey Uso. We're maybe going to see if LA Knight has wandered out all the way to Australia. I'm honestly unsure of who else could get involved. I don't think Seth Rollins is going to get involved. I think they'll keep Seth Rollins for the Crown Jewel Championship match at the end of the night. Although I have heard that the rumors for Survivor Series are going to be Seth Rollins, Bronson Reed, Braun Breaker, Brock Lesnar, and Austin Theory. And they are supposedly going to be up against CM Punk, Roman Reigns, LA Knight, Jimmy, Jey Uso. I think that was all 5. And there was possibly someone else there that was in contention. But I was looking at that and I was thinking, Austin Theory seems out of place there. But perhaps Austin Theory is going to join the Vision. I mean, he's not really doing much else at the moment. And is going to be in Perth, Australia. And he is Australian, so he would get the big pop there. And maybe that's what WWE are going for. I'm honestly unsure. But I really don't see Bronson Reed picking up the win here. I think it is indeed going to be Roman Reigns. Then we have the tag match of Rhea Ripley and Io Sky versus the Kabuki Warriors in a sort of gimmicked theme of making Io Sky look like a complete idiot on screen. You know, where she's had Asuka do the Jurassic Park acid spit in the face. You know, the mist, the blue mist, and Io Sky is still backstage, like, no, Rhea, they are my family, you know, and you're just like, jeez, stop booking her so poorly, you know. You have Kairi, like, oh, is Kairi going to turn on Asuka, you know, what's going to happen here and things. Honestly, I could see this going either way. I could see Io turning her back on Rhea and, you know, their 3-on-1 beatdown against Rhea Ripley. I could also see Kairi Sane turning on Asuka and Kairi and Io, you know, like standing up for themselves against Asuka, who has become quite villainous. You do also have to remember that this is Perth, Australia, and Rhea is going to get a huge, huge pop here. So I think if you want to make the crowd go home happy, you have Rhea Ripley and Io Sky defeat the Kabuki Warriors. I think that one makes the most sense. But I could equally see it going the other way, so vote on that one how you will. I'm honestly unsure. Then we have the Unseen 17 greatest of all time big match, John Cena against the phenomenal one, the face of TNA. We are talking AJ Styles, and probably the last match that these two will ever have together. Now, there is no storyline going into this other than the storylines that they had from the previous times that they fought each other, with AJ Styles coming out and thanking the audience for getting him this match, where he can do his favourite pastime, beat up John Cena, which of course is a throwback to when he was with the OC and with the club and so on. Now, John Cena lost his match to Brock Lesnar. John Cena is on 99 pay-per-view victories, and I just don't see AJ Styles walking away the winner of this match. The only person that John Cena has lost to in recent times is Cody Rhodes, when he gave the undisputed WWE Universal Championship back to him, the Uwu, as we call it, and he lost to Brock Lesnar in a rather surprising squash match. Now, is John Cena and Brock Lesnar going to face each other again? I have heard reports that the answer is no, that is the last match that Brock Lesnar and John Cena will ever have with each other. And if that is the case, that's rather hilarious. I don't know who Brock Lesnar has to rate his booking for him, but that's certainly a way to push yourself over. But AJ Styles is also retiring 2026. John Cena is retiring 2025. I just don't see AJ. I mean, AJ Styles has recently lost to Dominic Mysterio, could not get the Intercontinental Championship off of him. That was his previous feud. And John Cena recently held the undisputed WWE Universal Championship for an unprecedented 17th time and has only lost to two of the biggest names in the business, Cody Rhodes and Brock Lesnar. And I think John Cena only has something like 3 matches left. I'm not entirely sure. But he doesn't have many. And I don't think it's even 3 matches. I think it's 3 appearances left. So I think John Cena has to win. I would be very surprised if AJ Styles won, but I'm going to put my money on saying John Cena. The only reason I think AJ Styles would win is if John Cena wanted to do it as a favour to AJ Styles, to kind of boost AJ Styles' equity just a little bit before Styles decides to retire in 2026. Maybe if AJ Styles beats John Cena, maybe AJ Styles can get a title match, perhaps against Cody Rhodes. I mean, he'll probably lose, but at least it would give him something. I don't know. But I really, really think that John Cena is coming out the victor on this one. Then we have the first of the 2 Crown Jewel Championship. We have the Women's WWE Crown Jewel Championship first. Stephanie Vaquer versus Tiffany Stratton. Now, here's some interesting statistics. Tiffany Stratton has not been defeated this entire year, and we are into October. So that is 10 plus months that she has went undefeated, and she also picked up the victory in her tag match against Julia and James, Kiana James, and she of course was teaming with Stephanie Vaquer. Now Stephanie Vaquer is the new up and comer, the recent addition to the Women's World Champions, and Tiffany Stratton has now become almost a veteran, which is very unusual because Tiffany Stratton was the newcomer last year. And now we have the question of who wins this little match. Really, the Crown Jewel Championship is almost for no reason. It is just a fun little thing. It is like the old times of bragging rights, where the top champions of Raw and SmackDown would go against each other for bragging rights to see who was the better brand, and that's almost what this is. So, Stephanie Vaquer versus Tiffany Stratton. I feel like Stephanie Vaquer has a little bit more prominence on television. I think Stephanie Vaquer is younger and, well, not necessarily younger, but she is newer into the limelight. She was on NXT most recently, before coming to the main roster. Tiffany Stratton also came from NXT. But this is really a case of, does the veteran remain dominant, which is Tiffany Stratton, or does the up and newcomer get the rub from the old hand, and you give the victory to Stephanie Vaquer? Both of them are face. Both of them are great world champions. Both of them currently don't have a tremendous feud going at the moment. So I don't see anyone running out and causing interference or anything, causing an upset victory. Of course, they do have their various opponents that they've been fighting. I think it would be very surprising if Nia Jax came out and cost Tiffany Stratton the victory. But I think I'm more inclined to say that Stephanie Vaquer is going to win over Tiffany Stratton. But it's not an easy one to guess. But I think that's what I would go for. And then we have the main event, which is the American Nightmare, the holder of SmackDown's undisputed WWE Universal Championship, against Raw's World Heavyweight Champion, Seth freaking Rollins. And this is the one that's had the most storyline going into it. And if Seth loses, Paul Heyman needs to really consider why he chose Seth Rollins over Roman Reigns. We also need to address that Cody Rhodes is currently 3-0 against Seth Rollins, that Seth Rollins has not defeated Cody Rhodes, or at least not since Cody Rhodes has came back. Maybe Seth Rollins, as part of S.H.I.E.L.D., maybe defeated Stardust when Cody was in WWE the previous time. But as the American Nightmare Cody Rhodes, we are currently 3-0. So I really, really think that this is where Seth Rollins needs to get his win. But also, I think if Cody Rhodes wins, we're going to see Seth Rollins spiral out of control. I think if Seth Rollins were to lose, he would have to continue a feud with Cody Rhodes, and I don't think that's possible since both of them are world champions. So I think it makes more sense for Seth Rollins to pick up the victory and then go, there, see, I managed to beat Cody Rhodes once, and Seth Rollins is probably going to use some interference or some cheating method in order to do so, rather than just getting a clean victory over Cody Rhodes. But I think Seth Rollins does wind up the victor here. So let us now go over everything that we just said. I think Roman Reigns is beating Bronson Reed. I'd be very surprised if Bronson Reed won. Rhea Ripley and EO versus the Kabuki Warriors. I could see it going either way, but I think if you want the crowd pop, we are most likely going to see Rhea Ripley be the one to pick up the victory. John Cena versus AJ Styles. I think it doesn't really matter in the long run, but I suspect that John Cena will be the one to pick up the victory here. Then we have Stephanie McCure versus Tiffany Stratton. Again, I went with Stephanie McCure because this, again, there are no titles on the line. There is nothing really on the line in this entire pay-per-view. Even if you look at SmackDown and you see Cody Rhodes with the Crown Jewel Championship in the background, it's not about the Crown Jewel Championship, whereas the first time it was all about that because it was Riyadh, and we've really got to push that the Crown Jewel Championship is the greatest title in all of history. This time, Cody Rhodes almost ignored it and made the entire segment about this is me versus Seth freaking Rollins. The belt is secondary, and that is absolutely the correct way to look at this. Also, I genuinely think that the Crown Jewel Championship doesn't look all that fantastic, and the fact that it's defended once a year at Crown Jewel, and other than that, it just sits in Saudi Arabia, makes it feel like it's not really a championship, that it's just a toy that's brought out once a year, and I think even the wrestlers and the audience both don't really care about it. So I think this is more the story between Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins, and I think it makes more sense for Seth Rollins to pick up the victory here. So with that said, let's go ahead and make our predictions. So who do we think is going to win? I wonder if Stardust counts as Cody Rhodes. Probably. Now I do think Stephanie McCure is winning. Let's see who else we've got. Seth freaking Rollins. I don't think Cody is winning. CM Punk isn't even on the show. I don't see AJ Styles beating John Cena. Now we're getting into some of the SummerSlam cards. There's Jey Uso and Sami Zayn. And I think John Cena is going to win. So we're looking for a good Roman Reigns Rio Rhea and Io. So that's what happens when you put those two names together. That's what we are looking for. Yeah, that's very interesting. There is only 6 winners, so let's make this a little bit easier for ourselves. Okay, if we put in up arrows, we know that Roman Reigns is up arrow, and there we are. There's our best Roman Reigns. And then the next two are Rhea and Io Sky. I mean, there's Asuka right there, but we are looking for the other side of the tag team. There's Rhea, and we just need an Io Sky. This would be so much easier if we'd managed to pull the... Oh, there we go. Perfect. And that's what my predictions are for this year's Crown Jewel. Am I going to be correct? Who knows? But at least I've given you all the ideas that's in Big Old Grand Cat's head, and I think my logic makes sense, but I've also given you the points where I've said I could see this going the other way and I could understand why the other person would win, but now it's up to you to make your own decisions based on what information Big Ol' Grand Cat has given you guys. But with that said, folks, that is now going to be it for this little video, and I really hope that you've all enjoyed, and if you did enjoy it, please give me a like, share, and subscribe, and if you are subscribed, make sure you click that notification icon so that you can see when more of these glorious little videos go out, and we shall see you all in the next video. Goodbye, everybody.